Funny dynamic we see with a lot of people in our Think Media community is that they buy the gear that we recommend and then they end up using it incorrectly. Have you ever been in that place? You ordered all the gear, it comes to your house and you set it all up and you're like, I don't know, it doesn't look like Think Media's. Well, I'm so excited because in this video, we actually take one of our students and we totally make over his home office and YouTube studio setup and took everything he already had and made it go from this to this.
Wow.
Let's go.
You gotta just press record.
Hey, what's up? It's Omar Eltakrori with Think Media, and this makeover would not have been possible without the sponsor of this video, and that is StreamYard. If you're looking to get into live streaming, StreamYard will probably be the easiest way that you can do so, especially if you wanna share your screen, bring on guests, and do anything like that. StreamYard makes it so easy to live stream and to get started with, and so if you wanna check out StreamYard for yourself, be sure to check out the link in the description below, or just go to streamwiththink.com. Now, Andrew Finney is one of our students in our VRA program where we teach people how to grow and scale a YouTube channel to a business. And Andrew Finney is a real estate agent here in Las Vegas, has a YouTube channel with over 30,000 subscribers. And I would say he's killing it with his YouTube channel, posting consistent content that's valuable, that's being found in search, and he's truly reaching an audience and it's building out his business. Although Andrew had all the right gear, I noticed that even in the pictures that he probably wasn't using it to its full potential. But we went over to his home office and he kind of showed me around and showed me all the gear that he had. So we're here in Andrew's home office / YouTube studio, and I know you just measured it, but it was about, you said 14 by 10.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're working with. But I want you to kind of talk through some of the gear you already have, because we'll be taking your gear and really maximizing its potential. Because we find that a lot of people in our community will buy stuff and not necessarily use it to its full capacities, and so we want to help you with that. But let's break down some of the stuff you have going on.
Okay, not a problem, and that's a great point, by the way, that we will buy gear, and you're like, I don't even know.
Have you bought gear that we've recommended and you're like, I don't even know what to do with this?
I really can't say, but yes.
So what you have here is like a bin row stand. Came with this little equalizer type
Got a video head tripod.
There you go, thank you. All the fancy words that only Omar knows, and I just like,
That's
hey,
what
it's
I'm here
a
for.
thing that I put a thing on. Then this goes to the teleprompter here. You have a Sony a6600 in here. You have this field monitor that goes here so I can see where I'm framed out.
And then I see you got a nice little cob light here.
Yep.
This is an awesome light.
Yeah, and the Shure mic is my absolute favorite mic.
This is the Shure SM7B, very popular mic people get. Like if you want the creme de la creme, this is the mic to get. So yeah, and like you mentioned, you got the Rodecaster, which is what the mics are plugged into. And then I saw that you have a Logitech Brio webcam, which you should remove this sticker if you wanna.
Oh, I don't know.
Let's do it right now.
I'm so bad that even the MSI computer down here still has its plastic. I'll leave plastic on things forever.
Yeah, some people just cringe because I just removed that. Are you using your camera setup for your calls or whatever you use your computer for? Or is it like specifically, no, I just use it for YouTube?
I just use it for social media, YouTube, that's it. The only camera that gets used for business is the webcam.
Which is plenty, which I think is plenty, 100%. So yeah, that's something I wanted to keep in mind as we think about how we can reconfigure this to get a better shot for your YouTube videos. And then I noticed that over here you had some more gear. We got a Rode Video Mic Pro, which might be your new YouTube mic, we'll see. He's got a Sony a7S II. This is a phenomenal camera, and he's not using the camera.
And this is my fancy tablet for the teleprompter. That's its purpose.
We got some RGB lights that we can use to hit the back. We have everything we need to make this absolutely awesome. And then we asked Andrew to act like we weren't there and just set up like you're about to shoot a YouTube video. And when I found him setting all his things up, moving his screen, clearing off his desk, I found it to be a very complicated process for him just to get started recording videos. And if you wanna really put out videos, you wanna simplify that process from you getting in front of the camera and hitting record. But then once Andrew actually sat down and started shooting his videos, I then began to notice a few mistakes in how he uses his gear. Mistake number one was the light temperature he had on his face. You want your key light to be a daytime temperature, and he had it to be very, very warm, which really isn't all that flattering and isn't gonna give you your true skin tones on camera. The second mistake he had was the camera and lens setup he was using. He was using a crop censored camera with a lens that was zoomed in at 5.6 aperture. So shooting against the wall, number one, and then having an aperture that won't give you that blurry background really doesn't make the shot all that dynamic. And it was also a mistake only really because he had a better camera sitting in a box. He had a Sony a7S II that was a full frame camera, and that's gonna give you more background blur, and that's gonna make your image quality a lot better. It was also interesting to see that he was using a 4K camera, but he was shooting in 1080. So again, not really maximizing the potential of what he has. And then lastly, for audio, Andrew had his mic boomed away from his mouth, and a mic like he had a dynamic mic, you want that mic to be right next to your mouth to capture the best audio quality possible. So all these things kind of added up, and although he had the right gear, it wasn't producing the right results.
Keep in mind, guys, you know, I'm a full-time real estate agent and I'm trying to make as many amazing videos as possible. So I'm trying to learn about lighting, camera settings, and all this stuff, and I just got overwhelmed, and maybe you feel like that too. And Omar and his team came by today, and I'm really grateful for it.
So taking all this into consideration, I really think the goal here is to bring yourself away from the shot. So if you notice in the shot that Andrew's currently achieving with this entire setup, you know, with how tight his current shot is, there's nothing really interesting, and it's really close to his face. And we have found that like actually having your hands in your YouTube's, you know, talking head shot is actually, it helps with engagement because there's something moving on screen. And so that's the shot I want to try and achieve here. And so let's kind of move all this stuff around based off of what I think we should do.
346 minutes later.
All right, so we have completely redesigned and reconfigured his home office that he uses for YouTube videos and for work. And really what we did is we initially just wanted to create more space. And so we just moved these tables, we rotated them to put them against the corner, which created a lot of space here. Even when you walked in, you saw how cluttered it felt even with the gear. Now there's a YouTube studio in this vicinity and you see nothing. Like we have all this space, pretty sweet, right? So now he can actually work in peace. I didn't like how Andrew had to move his monitors off to the side and things like that. But as far as you could get a vibe that we've turned off the lights, and we got the, you know, some RGB lights splashing on the wall to give it more of a welcoming and warm feel. We have a fill light over here that's just filling in the room, so it's not like this dark dungeon. But the entire studio was moved over into this corner, which now is going to allow him to just focus on creating video content in a station with his office being the background. I think a lot of people think that their background has to be a specific wall or something, but no, you can actually come up from your workspace area and then shoot toward yourself. And really what this did is this created depth. This created a distance between himself and the background, and now him not being up against the wall, he actually has more background blur to introduce into his shot, which just gets it more interesting. And so before we came and helped Andrew, this was the shot he was getting with the gear that he had. Now I want you to remember that we didn't buy any extra gear. We just used what he already had. And now the reveal of his new setup is this. My goodness, you could see how much can happen when you get Think Media in your world. Like the shot looks amazing. And we actually asked Andrew what he thought of the entire makeover, and this is what he said. All right, so Andrew, what are your thoughts on the whole rework of your YouTube studio / home office setup?
Well, you know, they have that emoji like,
the mind blown emoji.
and that is how I feel, because what you guys did was so amazing. I had no idea. Sean likes to say, small tweaks lead to giant peaks, and you guys just did that, and the way that the color looks, it's just absolutely blowing my mind. And the best thing is, you did it with everything I already had in the office. You just taught me how to use what I have. And I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It just means a lot.
It's been so fun doing this. It was a lot of work just moving this stuff, but yes, it really is key to learn how you can use your gear properly. You probably have what you need to get started. If you want to be a student like Andrew, be sure to check out our free 1-hour masterclass at thinkmasterclass.com, where you'll learn how to use YouTube to actually grow a business, whether that be part-time or even full-time. But if you want to check out another YouTube studio tour, click or tap the screen. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you in a future one. Peace.